Hello, I have in today to demonstrate a manual way to write and install a subtitle. This method is nothing lucrative for an actual movie or video, progressing for a longer duration of, since it would take countless hours, if not days, running the code by hand. It's just impractical. There's dozens of softwares just available to do this work for you. But I'm trying to show you a tutorial on how to do this without the software. And you could make something, a small change, for example, if something is misspelled, if you want to add something small like a title or unknown language, it could be whatever reasons, but this is a method for that kind of work. What we need first is a video file, and what I'm using here is AVI. This is my personal favorite file, since it reads on many televisions, and I'm using many of my video files to play on TV, of course. But you can use pretty much any file which supports video format, MP4, AVE, as I'm using. MKV works as well, but yeah, just any file. Yeah, these work perfectly from my experience. And secondly, we need a text file. You can use most text files. The two I found working are text documents and the notes, as I'm using here, even though it's written on Teckningar since I got a Swedish system. I can't guarantee that all video formats and all text formats will cooperate with each other, that everyone will be cohesive with one another and work actually. But from my experience presented right now, these works fine. And another thing to note is that not every media player works reading these subtitles, not like burned into the file or just edited in, who have the style written on the side. But media player, for instance, doesn't work. But Windows Movie and TV app work. I think MacBook's player work. Haven't really tried myself. What I use is MPC-HC for my video files on Windows 8 and 10, and all those works for me every time. It's what I use on all my computers. Works flawlessly. So if a media player isn't working for you, you can just change to another, just temporarily for the sake of the subtitle. But this video shouldn't just be all about disclaimer. As for the actual tutorial, I'll begin with a code and write a code. Open a file and write a code, of course. So it's pretty easy. The amount of zeros here, this represent hours, these are minutes, and these are seconds. But it's actually this comma which is the defining point. Whatever is after this comma is milliseconds, and before the comma, at the left of the comma, with our words, it's seconds, minutes, and hours. You can actually have progressing zeros like forever, and like this would still be second, minutes, hours, and I don't know, like this must be 100 times, hundreds hours, and 10th, whatever. So you really don't need more than these, since now a movie isn't more about like 3 or 4 hours. That's like, and that's long movies, isn't it? And we got an arrow pointing to right, and here we got a similar setup as before. And it's the same here. This is the timestamp from when the subtitle will start showing, and this is when it will stop showing, when it will dissipate. Just take on and save that. And right now we gotta find of course save it. Right now we gotta find a moment in the movie which we wanna put a subtitle in. And I've watched this multiple times, so I picked out a very easy moment here, so you don't have to listen to speech. Here we got the title sequence, and then we just write the seconds. It was 37 seconds in, 37, and we can keep at zeros. Most subtitle codes you just can keep the milliseconds at zeros, but if you note that it's not completely synchronized, you can add like decimals for like for 3 to just test yourself forward until you get the right moment. If it's required to be precise, which it usually isn't. And I want it to be screening to 40. Yeah, that's when the title starts fading away. So here we got 3, 37. We got 0, 0, 0, 0, 37, comma, point. Oh, it's actually supposed, whatever. Going to 0, 0, 0, 0, 40, comma, 0, 0, 0. And we of course need to save this. And what we can do now is write our subtitle, which is Hush, since that's the movie I chose. Netflix original. And if we go here now, and there it shows. Hush. And yeah, and I can't really say more. That's about it. It's not very difficult. Now, a thing to note here though is the subtitle have to be named exactly the same as a video file. So here's not correctly named, not showing. It has to have the same name. That's why they're basically the same name. They need to be the same. At first I didn't really know that, and like I tried for hours trying to get it work, but actually what we see here is that it's not exactly synchronized, so we could in theory just go here and change there, so to get it a bit more precise, timed in, but still not very timed in. Can change a bit more, can just take 0 here, why not? It's not going to be for any practical use anyway. We could go in a less, we could go 5, and see if that's more fitting. Is it? Well, I want to thank you for watching this video, even though it's just an assignment, and I proved it shows itself helpful for you. Bye.